Some of the most dangerous financial mistakes, well, they don't look like mistakes at all.
They look responsible.
They feel logical. They even give you a rush of certainty.
But here's the thing. In a fragile economy, these responsible moves are actually anchors, and they are quietly stripping away your options right when the world is about to demand them most.
Welcome back to Finance Deep Dive. We've already covered what breaks first, who survives, and how to reposition early. But today we enter what's known as the dangerous metal. This is that tricky phase where people believe they are preparing, but what they're actually doing is building a fortress out of sand. All right, let's dive into the first of these traps. It's born from this incredibly powerful psychological need that we all have. It's called the liquidity trap, and it's all about trading your real-world oxygen for a piece of paper. You know how it is. When uncertainty starts creeping in, what do we all crave? Control. So, what does the smart person do? They take all their liquid cash and they just go on the attack, aggressively paying off low-interest debt. They kill the mortgage, they pay off the car, and man, they feel this massive wave of relief. But here's the hard truth. Relief is not the same thing as safety. And this is the point you have to remember. In a crisis, yeah, cash flow is king, but liquidity is queen, and she runs the whole show. And this right here, this shows you the trade-off perfectly. Look, if you drain all your liquid cash to pay off a measly 3% mortgage, you haven't actually reduced your risk. What you've done is traded your oxygen for a receipt. Think about it. If the economy really breaks tomorrow, the bank doesn't care that you're ahead on your payments. They care that you can't buy groceries. See, smart positioning isn't about getting rid of every single liability. It's about making sure you always have access to options. So I want you to ask yourself, right now, honestly, are the moves you're making designed to make you feel better today, or are they moves that actually make you safer tomorrow? Because let's be real, in this environment, you almost never get to have both.
And you know, that impulse, that need to trade real long-term safety for just a short-term feeling of comfort, well, that leads us directly into our second big mistake, the anchor trap.
This is where people try to lock in their lives, right? They see prices rising, so they sign a long-term contract. They fear rates will never come down again, so they buy the forever home. They're basically trying to freeze time. But you have to understand this. Volatility punishes rigidity. When the economy is shifting under your feet, flexibility becomes the single most valuable asset in the entire world.
And the logic behind this anchoring trap, it follows this really predictable but totally flawed path. It always starts with that fear of rising rates and prices, which prompts this rush to lock in a deal. But here's the catch. Every single long-term commitment you make right now, it just reduces your ability to pivot later, effectively trapping you inside your own decision. Believe me, the smart money isn't locking anything in right now. It's staying light on its feet.
Okay, on to trap number 3. This one is called the narrative trap. And this is what happens when you fall completely in love with a single simple story about what the future holds.
And I bet you've heard them, right? It's always one extreme or the other. The dollar is going to zero next month. Or, on the flip side, oh, don't worry, the Fed has already saved the economy. Look, these extreme stories, they're seductive. I get it. They help reduce our anxiety because they give our brains what feels like a clear path forward.
But the reality is, real economic change is never that clean. It's uneven, it's slow, and it's messy. So if you bet your entire future on one of these specific stories coming true, you're not positioning yourself, you're just gambling. Real preparation means you're set up to survive whether that story you love turns out to be right or whether it turns out to be completely wrong. And that brings us to our final trap for today, the timing trap. This is all about the incredibly high price you pay for hesitation.
We have a name for this. We call it the tax of hesitation. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the price you pay for waiting around for confirmation. You know, waiting for the news to officially use the word recession before you do anything.
Think about it like this. By the time the big headlines finally confirm the danger you already suspected, the opportunity to move has vanished. It's gone. The liquidity has all dried up. Sure, taking action late might feel decisive, but in the world of finance, late action is just the price you pay for needing the rest of the crowd to agree with you first.
Most people, they don't lose because they are careless. They lose because they did what felt smart in a world that had already changed.
Don't let your logic become your liability. If this video shifted your perspective, do me a favor and hit that like button. It helps this conversation reach people before the pressure builds. Comment below, cash or debt? Which one are you prioritizing right now? And of course, make sure you subscribe to Finance Deep Dive. In the next video, we are separating the real warning signs from the noise that everyone else is panicking about. You cannot afford to miss it.